Hey guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen. So today I was gonna do another video, but instead I'm gonna be talking about this instead, because I mean it's kind of like fresh news still for everybody out there. Just a couple days ago, we all kind of start finding out that Cold Steel's been sold to a big company that doesn't have a reputation for having, good quality products and things like that, unfortunately. So yeah, it's been a sad year, and I guess a sadder last few days. Just last week I made a video about my Recon ones and how those knives kind of got me into knife collecting and things like that. So yeah, pretty much when I was younger, I kind of grew up and I was interested in, I was watching TV and my friend was recommending to me, because I like knives, Deadliest Warrior, super cheesy but really fun, like old TV show. It was on Spike TV, and they kind of just like get different weapons from different military units, and they put them up against each other to see who has the better weapons and things like that. And they had displayed this knife, and this knife got me looking at the Cold Steel. And Cold Steel at the time had all kinds of crazy videos on YouTube. Every week they're coming out with different videos, like chopping things with different swords and just kind of, demonstrating what the knives are capable of. And that's certainly something I haven't really seen from any other knife company. So yeah, it kind of just took me by surprise that I made that video, and just very shortly after start hearing rumors, and you find out that Cold Steel's been sold. It's been sold to some company. I don't even know the name right now. It's like GSR or something like that, but it's not a knife company to begin with. It's actually a big company that owns a lot of smaller companies that I guess are sold in the sports stores. So, but I knew I had a bad feeling a little bit about the Black Friday deals they were having were just too good to be true. They were putting them on sale like really cheap. They were letting them go like half price, a little less, some of them, I don't know, like all over the internet. And I mean, even though I didn't necessarily like plan on getting one, I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe they're just gonna revamp their whole line. Maybe they're gonna redo more. I know that they were coming out with a lot of different models as of late. So I mean, as of last year and everything, they came up with a bunch of different models that I can't even name or list anymore. This being one of them. This was kind of like a new knife for me. I got it because it was on sale. I got it on one day. I saw there was a sale on it because it's a second too, a factory second. So some minor imperfections in that one. But I was like, I went ahead and decided, it's a Cold Steel. They're built to last. They're very hard to use knives, pretty much, for a very decent price. So I'll just check it out. So that's actually, as of now, the last Cold Steel I purchased. Even though I do have another one coming to me, because after finding out these news, I mean, it's just it's intelligent to go out and get something that you've been looking at for a while. I have a lot of things that were Cold Steel actually that I would have gotten, but I just had to. Obviously you gotta pick the ones that matter to you and go with that. So yeah, by now, I mean, other knife enthusiasts that I've been looking at on YouTube, they kind of talk about this company that bought them over as being the bargain bin brands, according to what they're talking about, as far as quality goes for their equipment and their tools. They own things, I guess, like Ozark and just random things like that you find like at Big Five and random sports stores like that are not really like something that you're it's not like a dependable brand or anything. It's just something you could buy because it's affordable, and then if it rips or breaks, you get another one. It's cheap, it's not high end. It's not like heavy duty and lifelong equipment, pretty much. It's just kind of sad for us to see that after having been with us for so long, this company actually has been around since the 80s. So before I was even born, I started getting into knives maybe around like in the, I don't know, 2010s, maybe like around 2012 and stuff. And the first knife that I actually purchased that was not a Chinese no-name brand from Chinatown or from the Mall Ninja store or whatever was actually a Cold Steel Recon 1, full size, this new generation one. As I explained in my other video, I wanted this one, but by the time it caught my eye, it was already discontinued and they'd be making this model. But I was able to find these still on the internet, floating around on the secondhand market, so I was able to get them, and I have one of each now. So if you saw Lynn's video on this, he talks about how the brand was sold, but that they're not going to decrease in quality, and they're just not going to compromise that he's not going anywhere. Neither is Andrew Demko, the designer of the Triad lock and other locks, and he's just designer of a lot of knives there, I guess. He's a big name in Cold Steel. He mentioned they're not going away, they're gonna still be involved in everything, but I don't know, the way he mentioned it, it kind of like it doesn't give me the how do I put this, I just don't feel so convinced, and he doesn't look so convinced himself the way he's talking. And I remember that guy in his other videos, and I actually met him once. He's very enthusiastic and very upbeat personality, so in his video didn't seem like, you know, he's selling the company to retire and go have a good time like some of us might want to think. It seems more to me that maybe because of the downturn in the economy and these things that, you know, he was probably forced to sell it. Small businesses like Cold Steel are not being aided to slow operations like they're being required to, and still bigger corporations, you know, they have tax advantages and they have other things they can do to capitalize on this current situation and pretty much consume the smaller businesses. It's sad, but it's kind of the world we live in right now, and we just gotta hope that big money doesn't come in to take our knife companies and, you know, just kind of send them all over to China. Over time, we're all gonna end up having like Gerbers and, you know, the old knives like that are used to be good and now are known for not being so great. And I don't want that to be our only options. And as I see it now, more and more knives are being made with good materials, I may add, but they're being made overseas. And, you know, I just kind of, not the same as buying something that's, you know, made in your home country where you live in the United States. You know, somebody made it and somebody has a job and it was paid well to do it. You know, we have minimum wage laws in a lot of states, so you know that they're making at least something decent, whereas some of these that are made overseas, you can't really say that. You can't really say that, you know, you're proud to support a business that supports somebody's lifestyle. Somebody's gonna, you know, make a check off of this and go support their family or anything. Some of those people, I don't even know if they have minimum wage laws in those countries. So, in conclusion, this is a sad time, and from what I gather on the internet, from multiple comments and videos that I've seen, everybody that had a job with Cold Steel at the California headquarters, where they used to be located in Ventura, California, has kind of lost their jobs as they've now moved on to Texas. And on their website now, apparently, it says that their headquarters are in Texas, and I highly doubt that they relocated a bunch of people to work there. That's just very, very unlikely. So it's a sad time and it's a hard time, and we're definitely going to see some changes with this. A lot of people, and including myself, don't see this as being good. It's just despite what we're being told, it seems like, you know, history has a different way of playing out. And as we've seen, like I said, with Gerber and apparently Camillus and some of these other knife brands that were once high-end, or I mean not high-end, but like decent and solid, and then they kind of were, you know, changed ownerships. And a lot of things you can think of in life that change ownerships don't become the same after some time. So if you stayed this long for the video, we're going to show off what I got over here. This is what's left of all the Cold Steels that I've collected over time. And I got these at different times. Like I said, these two were my first ones. Not particularly this one. It was the older model with the AUS 8. This is the newer model. I think it's got S30B. I'm not sure. We'll look at it on the other side. I know that's what the newer ones are sporting. But I have this is a Kobun that I got at the parking lot sale. Like I said, I met Lynn Thompson that day. He was cool. He was, you know, up there with like a training tomahawk, you know, talking to some guy about martial arts moves, and, you know, like he's up there, like showing him some moves and stuff like that. He was quite a character, really likable guy. It seems very up energy. I didn't know him personally, but just I grew up like watching his videos. Just there's no other knife videos that I've seen like that where, you know, they are cutting like a pig carcass in half and just ridiculous things like that. But yes, this knife I modified when I was younger. I gave it a nice little acid etch. Pardon the noise in the background there. Might be some like gardeners or workers outside. But I gave it an acid etch at the bottom edge here. I put a Z instead of the K because I thought I'd give it like a zombie look. You know, I was 17 years old. So this is my Zobun. Paracord wrapped the handle to make it a little bit thicker and give you more purchase. And I paracord padded the sheath here so that when you're carrying it inside your belt, this is nice and comfortable up against the skin. This is my Cold Steel Spartan. I also modified this when I was a teenager, pretty much. I did a acid etch with a Raven on this side, and then on this other side, Come and Get 'Em. You know, it's a reference to the movie 300 and the story of King Leonidas. So he yells Come and Get 'Em when they ask him to hand over his weapons. That one's got some snap. This is my first one that has a the thumb plate here and the waveable thumb plate. Really like this knife. So here I have the two Micro Recon ones. I have a Spear Point one that's pretty fresh. That one actually was we bought for my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, and I had this one, and we thought they were really cool together. And this one also we acquired at the parking lot sale the one time that I was able to go. It was a very, very sturdy, actually, little keychain knife. Still is going to be my favorite one. I hope that no matter what happens with that company, these are always in the line, because these are very, very affordable, but very usable. They're very, very wonderful little knives. I really like these. Not to mention they're adorable because they're baby Recon ones. Here's my favorite one. Just so smooth and just fun to operate. Open and close the handle, ergonomic, and in 4 different positions that you might want to hold it. It's just a little bit a simpler design. I feel like sometimes goes a little bit of a longer way. Not hating on at all the new Recon 1. I love it very much, but this handle, obviously you can't hold the same way with the same amount of comfort. It's a lot more comfortable just to hold in forward, reverse, and forward grip like this, or hammer grip, saber grip. But you know, it's still like this one I actually used for some time, so the edge is not like factory sharp, but it's still very sharp. Look how much more reflective this black coating is compared to the old one that used to flake off really easily. This is like the old one here, so you can see it chips off easily. And this knife has got some serious use, so it's not bad for that knife. This knife here, look, old coating, super scratchable. New coating, it's like DLC. CTS XHP, that's the steel on this one. Yeah, I've forgotten about that one. These older ones are made with AUS 8, which is not bad for the type of knife and the price, actually. So this was my newest one. This was Bush Ranger Light that I got. Look at the little squeak and everything. This is a factory second, as I mentioned, so it's got some aesthetic imperfections, like the swedge up here. It's ground a little differently. I'm not sure if that's only part of it, but look over here, the polish is not quite the same. It's not very even, but it's very functional, and I've used it. I've given it a little bit of hard use. I just recently helped my dad trim a tree in the backyard, and I had to chop all the little twigs off of the big branches so we could cut the branches and fit them in the bin. So I used this knife for that, and it worked out really well. It still has a very decent edge for how much use I gave it for it being a 8CR 13 MOV steel, which is not the toughest. It's definitely a Chinese steel, but has a little lock and everything. I have a lot to say about this knife, but I'm going to keep it for another video. Unfortunately, it might not be available by the time that video comes out, but we'll see. This is a knife that I modified, again, when I was younger. This was a Burden Trout. I heated the handle and slowly, you know, curved it forward to be a ceramic grip. I used some resin here to fill out a handle and sand it out. I did a little paracord wrap, acid stone wash that scratches off pretty easily, but you know, just experimenting and things. Give it a little back edge that I feel came out pretty nice, actually. Pretty proud of myself for this one, even though I know it's just kind of amateur or whatever, but it's like one of my first successful ones. Locks in there. I put a little belt thing here, makes it easier to conceal, but I mean, riding on the belt, this thing sticks up really far no matter where you are, so it's kind of tricky to carry. You know, just things from when I was younger, I guess. Have this one. This is a Urban Pal. Also, same thing, I gave a little back swedge here. This one came out pretty good. I feel like that small of a punch knife, not only is it already legal because of the short length, and if it's already like legally carryable as a dagger as well, you might as well just have 2 edges. It's not, for me, ever been a knife that I put my finger on the back spine for to do like pressure cutting like he shows in his video, Lynn Thompson, but this is definitely a nice little knife that I've liked for a long time, and I carried it around many different ways. I had it in a little drawer because I was actually modifying the sheath so I could belt carry it, but I'm taking it out now just to show it to you guys. And then I have this guy. This is a Cold Steel Warhammer that I've had put away for some time, so you can see it's developing some rust, but I had shined up the spike in the face here. Again, that's a little rusty right now, but that'll polish off real easy. I did like another black coat on the top of the handle here and this part of the metal, and then I paracord wrapped the whole thing. That took some time, and my hands just hurt remembering how long it took me to tighten this paracord around it. Did a little bit of an inscription here. I looked up some lyrics that I liked from a song, and I went on Google and you can translate those to like Elvish from Lord of the Rings. So I thought that was cool, and did a little TMW down there. This is another one that I've just had for a long time. I never got around to showing it, but it's just something that I've always enjoyed in my collection. I'm never gonna let it go. But yeah, so I mean, what I really liked about Cold Steel, I guess, is they're affordable knives, and they're like interesting designs and everything. Always gave me something to not be afraid to modify. I was never afraid to modify these. Like I would never mess with one of my ZTs. You know, the fit and finish on those things is great and everything. I just don't feel like I need to mess with those. But these guys always felt like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, and I feel like it was a really good brand to help people get started into modding knives and stuff like that. I never got too into it, unfortunately. My life kind of just took a different turn when I was younger and I was into knives and everything, and then, you know, you kind of start working and you kind of just stop doing these little random things for fun, and I'm back to it now. I'm just trying to enjoy my knives and post about them, but, you know, it's not like back then. I used to watch a lot of Tough Thumbs and those guys, and I remember when Gavco was new, they had videos of him. They were kind of helping him because he was like a new knife maker or whatever. That guy's been making knives forever now, and he's got a lot of experience and a big fan base. So that kind of inspired me to get started and do like little modifications and customizations and things like that. So really, for me, well, I guess it was just more for fun in the end. And I'll still do it when I have time, when I'm bored, and when I have downtime and things like that. It's always a nice thing to keep you busy, keep your mind off of things in these times. But if you made it this far, thank you guys for sticking around and for watching. Like I said, I'm going to keep coming back with Cold Steel videos, at least just to reminisce. They're just going to be a throwback now instead of like a hey, you should get this knife, because I'm not sure what's going to be available and not. Those like really good sales that they're having are a little bit scary, and they do make you think that some of these models are going to be discontinued, because that's generally what happens with the knives when they put them on sale like that. They kind of just are getting rid of the last of them so that they can discontinue them and make newer models. So I mean, I got the knife that I wanted, and I've always really wanted an AK-47 as well, but I just know it's going to be so much like this Recon 1 and that pocket, you know, destroying G10. It's the same as this one, so I wouldn't carry it like a crazy amount, but maybe I'll get one of those down the road. The one I really want is the discontinued one with the Axis lock, but that one's really hard to find, so it'll have to go on the list of grail knives that are one day to be purchased, but right now they're kind of hard to find. So yeah, thanks to Cold Steel for always being around. This one goes out to you guys, and they're just they're gonna be missed, whatever they become. And I think that no matter what, it's brought a lot of people into the world of carrying pocket knives and normalizing this thing that we all find so appealing to our lives, you know, not even just as like self-defense and things like that, but like definitely as utility tools. They're very handy, and it's always great to be the one guy with a knife in a group of people that's, you know, they don't carry anything besides their keys to open boxes. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave any comments. Let me know what you think. What are you going to do about your Cold Steels? Are you going to go out and get them now? Are you just going to put them in your list of rare knives to find for the future? I remember I always had a list of, like, when I was younger, I had a list with like a company's name on it, and like the list of knives that I wanted from that company, from their entire catalog. And when I didn't know what to buy, I would go through that. And I'm just gonna say here, like, Cold Steel always had the longest list. I think the only second one to that was Spyderco. Always had a long list of Spydercos that I wanted to have and experience, but Cold Steel always had the longest one because they always had the boldest designs, so the craziest knives that I don't think any other company would have really designed, because they would have thought it was impractical, but Lynn Thompson thought it was awesome, so he did it anyways. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of all this, what you guys make of it, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.